हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, हाउ आर यू? कैसे आप लोग? सो टुडे वी आर गोइंग टू see some problems on differential calculus. It is the continuation of the series of lectures on differential calculus. I hope you have seen the previous lectures. If you haven't seen that, I am giving the I button link to that. You can go and see there. All the lectures contains very good problems from differential calculus. They are not routine problems, a little bit different type of problems. So you must see that if you haven't seen that. The first problem that I am going to take today is saying let a1 is 1 and an is sine an minus 1, n greater than 1 and n is a natural number, and given that limit n tends to infinity, this limit is b ln square a, then find mod of b by a. It's not a tough problem, but it's a good problem, you can say. If you wish, you can pause the video and try it yourself. Then after I'm giving the solution, you can look at it. Let's start the problem. The basic thing that I'm going to use here is when n tending to infinity, an is approximately an minus 1, because there is hardly any difference between n and n minus 1. Agreed? So can I say given an is sine an minus 1, it is given. So applying the limit n tends to infinity over this, and that will be equal to sine an minus 1. Let this quantity be L. N tends to infinity, an is equal to L. Let it be L. So L is equal to, this will be sine L. This will be sine L. Now L is equal to sine L, something like x equal to sine x. When it is possible, you know by the graph that sine x graph is this and y is equal to x graph is this. So they can meet only at x equal to 0. From here you can say L will be 0. So L will be 0, that means we have established this result that limit n tends to infinity, an is equal to 0. Right? Now let's solve this limit. This limit is given as limit n tends to infinity. Now this quantity can be written as, if you can see here, over here, 4 to the power n, 2 to the power 2an is 4 to the power n minus, this is 2 into 2 to the power n, 2 to the power 1 plus n can be written like this, into 3 to the power n, and this quantity can be written as 9 to the power n, right? 3 to the power 2 to the power n, and this is upon 1 plus cos n minus e to the power n minus e to the power minus n. Now let us proceed ahead. This can be written as, if you can see carefully, 2 to the power n minus 3 to the power n whole square, right? And the denominator is like, if you can see over here, it is like e to the power n plus e to the power minus n. I am taking a minus sign from here to here, and that will be minus 2 and plus 1 minus cos n. If you can see the adjustment over here, what I have done, I have taken minus common from this and give it to this. So this will be plus plus, this will be minus, this will be minus, it will be minus 1. So I have done what I have done, I have done minus 2 and then plus 1 will be minus 1 minus cos n. Now if you look at carefully, when limit n tends to infinity, this number is going towards 0. So this is 2 to the power 0 minus 3 to the power 0, that is 1 minus 1, that is 0. This is e to the power 0, again 1, e to the power 0, again 1, 1 plus 1 2, 2 minus 2, again 0, and this is cos 0, 1, 1 minus 1, 0, so 0 by 0 form. Agreed? So let's calculate the value of this limit, is equal to minus, I am taking the common, this quantity can be written as 2 to the power n minus 1 upon n minus 3 to the power n minus 1 upon n. Look at the adjustment. This is the beauty of the problem. So this can be written as e to the power an plus 1 upon e to the power n, or like we can write it like e to the power n minus 1 plus e to the power minus n minus 1 upon n, and this will be 1 plus 1 minus cos n upon n square, and no, sorry, this cannot be adjusted like this, we have to divide it by an square. So this can be written as, if you can see, e to the power n plus 1 upon e to the power n minus 2, and I am dividing it by an square anyhow. So denominator and numerator both are divided by an square. Now let's proceed ahead. Pause the video and note it down. I am proceeding ahead. So this can be written as limit n tends to infinity minus 2 to the power n minus 1 upon n minus 3 to the power n minus 1 upon n whole square, whole divided by, look at here, it is nothing, it is e to the power n minus 1 upon n whole square into 1 upon e to the power n plus 1 minus cos n by n square, right? Now it is very easy now. This is all our known limits minus, this is ln2, right? This is ln3 whole square, this is 1, this is 1 upon 1, that is 1, and this is 1 by 2. So it comes out to be limit n tends to infinity, this is ln 2 by 3 square, so ln square 2 by 3. Look at here, this is 1 plus 1 by 2, that is 3 by 2, it is denominator, so it will go like 2 by 3 and this minus sign is here. Now compare it with this given result. So we can say b is minus 2 by 3 and a is 2 by 3. So we have to find mod of b by a, which naturally comes out to be 1. So this is the answer of the problem. It's a very easy problem, but the main beauty of the problem is the adjustment over here. How you adjust the limit, and the first part, that limit n tends to infinity, an is equal to 0. If you can do these two things, you can solve this problem easily. Otherwise it will be a difficult one for solving, right? Now please pause the video, note it down. We'll go ahead for the next problem. So I hope you have noted down the earlier problem. Now let's move to the second problem. It is also not difficult problem, but it's a tricky one. The problem said that let f of n is limit x tends to 0, x minus n tan of tan inverse x upon n sine of tan inverse x upon n minus x, where n is a natural number, and 2 minus fn upon 1 plus fn gif, this stands for gif, greatest integer function, is 8, then find n. If you wish, you can pause the video and try it yourself. If you can solve, this is well and good. If you can't, let's see the problem that I am going to give. Let's see the solution that I am going to give you. Now this limit, before proceeding to this limit, I am going to derive a result for you that you should remember always. These are very good limits. One limit is limit x tends to 0, x minus sin x upon x cube. Somehow if you know the value of this limit, that will be very beneficial for you in solving many complicated limits. So this limit can be evaluated. This is 0 by 0 form, right? So applying LH, L'Hospital rule, we get this limit as limit x tends to 0, 1 minus cos x upon 3x square. Again applying LH, it is again 0 by 0 form, so we can apply, so it will be sin x upon 6x. Now sin x by x is 1, so it comes out to be 1 by 6. So this limit is 1 by 6. Although we have solved this limit, but I will refer you to remember this limit's value. It will help you to solve many complicated limits. Limit x tends to 0, x minus sin x by x cube is always 1 upon 6. And the other limit is that I am going to derive is limit x tends to 0, x minus tan x upon x cube. X minus tan x upon x cube. So this limit is again 0 by 0 form, applying LH. So 1 minus sec square x upon 3x square. Sec can be written as 1 upon cos, so it will be 1 upon cos square x, so it will be cos square x minus 1 upon 3 cos square x into x square. Now cos square x minus 1 is minus sin square x, so it will be minus sin x by x whole square into 1 upon 3 cos square x. I hope you are getting the limit. Now this is 1, this is also cos 0 is 1, so it will be minus 1 upon 3. So this limit is comes out to be minus 1 by 3. Again I am saying that you should remember these limits. It will help you in solving many complicated limits in the future. So always remember the value of these limits. Please note it down. I am proceeding for the problem given. So now let's solve the given problem. The problem given is, first of all we have to find the value of this limit so that we can be able to find the value of Fn. So Fn is limit x tends to 0. Now for this limit, first of all let's simplify it by putting tan inverse x as equal theta. Tan inverse x as theta in the limit. So when tan inverse x is theta, if x is tending towards 0, that means theta is also tending towards 0. So this limit Fn will become limit theta tends to 0, x will be tan theta minus n tan of tan theta, sorry this is theta by n divided by n sin theta by n minus tan theta. Getting my point? X is tan theta. So this can be written as limit theta tends to 0. Look at the adjustment over here. It is very beautiful problem. Theta tends to 0, tan theta minus n tan theta by n minus theta. This is minus theta, this is plus theta, will be cancel out, so there will be no problem here. Same here, n sin theta by n minus theta minus tan theta minus theta. So minus theta plus theta will be cancel out. Now this limit will become limit theta tends to 0, tan theta minus theta minus, taking the n common from here, with tan theta by n minus theta by n divided by, again taking common n, so sin theta by n minus theta by n minus tan theta minus theta. Fine. Now remember the previous limit that I have solved, sin theta minus theta by theta cube and tan theta minus theta by theta cube. So in denominator we need theta cube. So let's divide and multiply by theta cube into theta cube. Now here theta is theta by n, so theta by n cube into theta cube by n cube upon same theta by n cube, so into theta cube by n cube upon theta cube into theta cube. Got my point? Adjusting the limit so that we can get the value easily over here. Now theta cube, theta cube, theta cube and theta cube will be cancelled out, right? Now put the value of the limit. Remember, x minus tan x by x cube was minus 1 by 3. This is tan x minus x, will be plus 1 by 3. So 1 by 3 minus, this is again 1 by 3. This is n by n cube, 1 by n square, so it will be 1 by 3n square divided by, this is 1 by n square. Remember, x minus sin x by x cube as 1 by 6. This is sin x minus x type. It will be minus 1 by 6. So minus 1 by 6n square, and this will be minus 1 by 3. So let's take the LCM and simplify. So we will get n square minus 1 upon 3n square into 6n square upon minus 1 minus 2n square, if I am right. So it will be equal to, will be 2 times, minus I am taking common, so minus 2 times n square minus 1 upon 2n square plus 1. This is I. What is the value of this limit? This. And this is Fn. So finally Fn we are getting, it is equal to minus 2n square plus 2 divided by 2n square plus 1. Right? Please note it down, pause the video. I am proceeding ahead. Now let's calculate the value of this one. Fine. So from here, 2 minus Fn divided by 1 plus Fn will be equal to 2 minus 2n square plus 2 upon 2n square plus 1 divided by 1 plus minus 2n square plus 2 upon 2n square plus 1. Now take the LCM, you will get 4n square plus 2 plus 2n square minus 2 upon, here you will get 2n square plus 1 minus 2n square plus 2. So 2 and minus 2 cancel out, 2n square minus 2n square cancel out, it will be 6n square by 3, ultimately it will be 2n square. Beautiful value. So this whole will give you 2n square. So what is given? From here you can say GIF of 2n square is 8. That means 2n square lies between closed 8 to open 9. So we can say n square lies between closed 4 to open 9 by 2. But n is a natural number given. So this is a natural number. So the only possibility is n square is 4. It is 4 and this is 4.5. So between 4 and 4.5 there is no integer. So it has to be 4. So n is plus minus 2, but n is a natural number, so it cannot be negative. So n is 2. So this is the answer of the problem. I hope you enjoyed this problem. It's a very good problem. So what I have done, I have solved two limits for you. One is x tends to 0, x minus sin x by x cube, that is 1 by 6, and x tends to 0, x minus tan x by x cube, that is minus 1 by 3. I always recommend that you should remember the values of these two limits. That will help you in solving many different type of limits which looks to be very complex. And if you apply LH rule over here in this limit, it will be very cumbersome to solve. So I always use the limits tan theta minus theta by theta cube and sin theta minus theta by theta cube in these type of problems. Fine. Now pause the video and note it down. We are proceeding for the next problem. I hope you have noted down the problem, previous one. Now let's move to the next problem. One thing that I want to say, the lengthier the problem, the easier to solve. There are many problems which looks very tough and lengthier to the eyes, and we leave it. Just by looking at it, it is very tough, we cannot solve it. But when we solve it with a proper approach, we will be able to solve it very easily. This problem that I am going to take, it's something like that. It says, let fx be differentiable function satisfying following conditions. Pi r equal to 1 to 6, f of r less than 0. This function stands for product, continuous product. Like sigma stands for continuous summation, this is continuous product. R equal to 1 to 6, that is f1 into f2 into f3 into f4 into f5 into f6 is less than 0. Similarly, r equal to 1 to 3, f of 2r is negative, and r equal to 1 to 2, f of 3r is also negative, f of 6 is positive, and fx is monotonic in open n to n plus 1 where n is an integer. Let S denotes the set consisting the number of distinct roots of fx equal to 0 for all x belongs to open interval 1 to 6. Then find number of elements in set S. If you wish, you can try the problem, then after look at the solution that I am going to give here. Let's start solving it. The first thing that is given, that is f1, f2, f3, f4, f5, f6 is less than 0. This is our equation number 1. From here we can say f2, f4, f6 is negative. This is our equation number 2. And from there we can say f of 3, f of 6 again less than 0. And the last f of 6 is greater than 0. Now let's start from here and go to upside down. Now f of 6 is positive, right? So I am writing here f of 6 is positive. If f of 6 is positive, this quantity is positive. If this quantity is positive and the product is negative, that means f of 3 is negative, right? So I am writing here f of 3 is negative. So we know the signs of f of 6 and f of 3. Now here f of 6 is positive, here given f of 6 is positive. So if f of 6 is positive, that means f of 2 into f of 4 must be negative because product is negative. So f2 into f4 is negative. So from here we can conclude that f2 into f4 is negative. Now let's move here. f2 and f4, the product is negative, f6 is positive, and f3 is negative. Negative, negative, positive, positive. So from here we can say the product of f4 and f1 must be negative, so becomes negative. So it will be like f1 into f5 is negative, right? So from here we can conclude one thing, that f2 and f4 are of opposite signs. That is, one is negative, so other is positive because product is negative. And same here we can say f1 and f5 are of opposite signs because product is negative. I hope you get that. Now let's move ahead. Pause the video, note it down. I am moving ahead. So let's start solving it. We don't know what is fx, so we cannot put the values of x and find the value of fx, or we can form an equation and find the roots. We cannot do that because we don't know what is fx. We just know the signs of these values of the function. So now let us draw a flow chart, and that is important. Starting from f6. So f6 is positive. From here, for f5 there are two possibilities, either it is positive or it is negative. Same for f4. f4 can be positive, f4 can be negative. Similarly here, f4 can be positive, f4 can be negative. What about f3? It is fixed, it is always negative. So there is no chance of 2 here ki f3 can be positive and negative. It is given f3 is negative. So f3 is negative. What about f2? f2 can be positive, can be negative, agreed, but it depends on sign of f of 4. If f of 4 is positive, it must be negative. If it is negative, then it must be positive. From here we conclude that f of 4 is positive, then f of 2 must be negative. F of 4 is negative, so f of 2 must be positive. F of 4 is positive, so f of 2 must be negative. F of 4 is negative, so f of 2 must be positive. And finally f of 1. F of 1 can be positive, can be negative, but it depends on the sign of f of 5. It is opposite sign of f of 5. So if f of 5 is positive, f of 1 will be negative and vice versa. So f of 1 from here, this is the f of 5 greater than 0 case. So f of 1 less than 0, f of 1 less than 0, and this is f of 5 greater than 0 case, less than 0 case, sorry. So f of 1 greater than 0 and f of 1 greater than 0. I hope you got the flow chart. This is very important to solve the problem. So from this is our case number 1, this is our case number 2, this is our case number 3, and this is our case number 4. So there are 4 types of possibilities over here. Now let us draw the graph of fx, a tentative graph, right? So let's draw. Always remember it is differentiable function, so it will be continuous also, and it is monotonic in n to n plus 1. So in 1 to 2, either it will be increasing or it will be decreasing and so on. So let's draw the first case. Let us draw the graph. Suppose this is x-axis. Now f of 6 is positive. Suppose this is f of 6 is positive, right? F of 5 is positive. So suppose f of 5 is this, it is increasing in 5 to 6. So f of 5 is this. I am supposing it. We can also say f of 5 is here, it is decreasing in 5 to 6. That will not make any difference. Sorry, this is decreasing. If I am say f of 5, that will be increasing. F of 4 is positive. I am taking the first case only. F of 4 is positive. So let's say this is f of 4. Right? So f of 3 is negative. So f of 3 like this. F of 2 is also negative. Suppose this is f of 2. And f of 1 is also negative. Suppose this is f of 1. So the graph will be look like this. Right? And we are interested in finding the graph for 1 to 6 only, because we are going to discuss the roots in x belongs to open interval 1 to 6. This is the first possibility. Let us draw the second possibility. F of 6 is always positive, so that's not an issue at all. F of 6. F of 5 is positive. Suppose this is f of 5. Sorry, this is 6, this is 5. F of 4 is negative now. So this is f of 4. Suppose this is f of 4. F of 3 is also negative. Suppose this is f of 3. F of 2 is positive. So suppose this is f of 2. And f of 1 is negative. Suppose this is f of 1. So the graph will be tentative like this one. Like this one. Right? The third case. F of 6 is positive. F of 5 is negative now. F of 4 positive. F of 3 negative. F of 2 also negative. And f of 1 is positive. So graph will be like this. Like, and the fourth case, let's draw the fourth case over here. F of 6 is positive, it is always positive f of 6. F of 5 is negative. F of 4 is also negative. F of 3 is negative. F of 2 is positive. And f of 1 is also positive. So it will be like this. Always remember, this is x-axis. This is x-axis. This is x-axis. This is x-axis. So we are going to discuss the roots of fx equal to 0. X belongs to open interval down to 6. So fx equal to 0 means the graph of fx cuts the x-axis. That will give you the solution. So how many solutions here? Only one. So let us form the set S. S is the set consists of number of distinct solutions. That can be 1. So 1 will be an element of set S. What about here? 1, 2 and 3. Here 1, 2. Here 1, 2, 3 and 4. So in set S there will be 4 elements. And those elements are 1, 2, 3 and 4. Number of roots, distinct roots, that can be 1, that can be 2, that can be 3 and that can be 4. So this is the set S, and we are interested in finding the number of elements in set S. Number of elements, that will be 4. So this is the answer of the problem. Right? So it's a beautiful problem. What we have done, by the given conditions, we concluded the nature of the function for the different values of x, and we draw a tentative graph and look at the results, that when it cuts the x-axis, how many times it is intersecting the x-axis for the values of x lies between 1 and 6. I hope you must enjoy today's lecture. We have taken many different type of problems. Take care of yourself. If you are coming to this channel for the first time, I request you to subscribe the channel, like the video, and spread this message to all your near and dear ones, your friends, so that maximum people can be benefited from this. स्वस्थ रहिए, व्यस्त रहिए, मस्त रहिए. Bye bye.